Okay, now let's make the build for our game. So this is going to make the exe that we can then play, we can share with friends, and all that stuff. So I'm going to go up to File, and then I'm going to go to Build Settings. And then what I need to do is I need to add current. I'm going to add current, and that's going to add our trivia scene to our build. And you have to make sure that you have every scene that you want to have in your game added to this list. So you go to the scene and you open up the build settings and say add current. That's how you can add them all to that. Cool, so we have that in there now. So now what we need to do is say build and run. And I'm going to call this trivia game, just like that. And then I'm going to say save. Now it's going to go ahead and make a build of the game. So very cool. And unfortunately, when I make this build, it's sending it to this weird resolution of 1280 by 768. And if I play it, it's going to have a little bit of a problem. We can see once it loads up here. So, okay, how many degrees are there in a circle? So my cursor is like on top of 360 right now, but it looks like 180 is actually the one that's being highlighted. It's slightly different color. So if I click, yep, it selected 180. So that was wrong. I'm gonna press the escape key, which we set up to exit out of our game, to exit out of that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to player settings here in the build settings. So I'm gonna click on player settings right here. Then I'm gonna go to resolution and presentation. I'm gonna click on it to open it up. And then under supported aspect ratios, I'm gonna just click that little arrow to bring up all of these. I'm gonna uncheck everything but 16 by 9 because that's the aspect ratio I want from the game. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say build and run, and I'm just gonna override that. So, yep, override that. Now when it loads up, okay, good. 1280 by 720. That should work. Let's say play. And once we get in here, these buttons should work right. So right when I transition over to the other button, it transitions to being highlighted. So that looks like it's working perfectly. So platypus is a mammal. And let's just go through the game. So how many degrees are there in a circle? 360. John Adams. Let's get one of these wrong. Andy Warhol. And a murder. There we go. So cool, we got 4 out of 5 correct. You're very smart. Play again. Yes, I do. And I'm done. So exit. So there we go. We've finished our trivia game. And what I would say is that if you want to share your trivia game exe, make sure you include the trivia game underscore data folder. This needs to go along with this. They need to be together. So other than that, I think we are done.
Well, we're done with the exception of one small error we need to fix. So currently, what's happening is the first question is never chosen to be used, and that's because that the way we're setting up the question numbers chosen array. Every index is being initialized to 0 by default. So that means that when we are choosing the questions for this array, so right here, and we're checking to see if a number is currently contained in that array, no 0 is allowed to be entered into it because that's what, well, all of them are set to, and we're just overriding all those zeros with new numbers. So we need to fix that, and we're going to fix that by simply reinitializing all those values to a different number than 0, and we're going to initialize them all to -1. So I'm going to create a for loop here. So for, and then I equals 0, or int I equals 0, and I is less than the question numbers chosen dot length. We're going to increment I, so I plus plus, and in here all we're going to do is we're going to assign each index of the question numbers chosen array to be equal to -1. So at index I equal to -1. So pretty simple, just making sure all those numbers are set to -1 before we go about choosing the questions. So save that, and we are done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.